Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I just wanted to hop on here real quick. A friend of mine shared something about the church their family goes to. The reason I say her family is because Dad's present, but Dad has some issues. But what caught my attention about it, honestly, was this pastor finally said something that some of the big time pastors will talk about, but not many others do. And what he said was, we show up on Sunday wearing our Christian clothes, but the minute people leave the church, they take it off and go right back to their sinful clothes. So, if you had seen any of my previous videos or my most previous video, you'll see I try and talk about that. Saved on Sunday, sin on Monday. And unfortunately, that's the way a lot of Christians think. You know. And now I'm realizing why you don't mix garments together like wool and linen and such and such and such. It's not just an energy thing and how it makes you feel, because that is a real thing. But it's also, are you going to give in to the world and do what the world wants? Or are you going to listen and obey God? And the reason I bring that up is because a scene from The Chosen popped into my head from season 5 where somebody went and saw one of the Pharisees about it. And he was asking him why did he wear mixed clothing? So that's a real thing. A lot of times we don't think about it. We say do not conform to the world, but be conformed to the Word of God. Excuse me. But how many of us actually take the time to read? To actually read the Word of God on a daily. Read one verse, one chapter, or maybe 5 verses a day. It doesn't matter how much you read, but do you understand what's being written? A lot of us don't do that. I challenged a friend of mine that's angry at God. I was like, read the book of Job. If anybody in the Bible had the utmost reason to be angry at God, it was Job. But Job didn't get angry at God. And if you haven't read it, take your time reading it, because it's a very good telling of certain things. David's a great telling of when we sin and fall and how we can get back into God's grace. Samson. Oh, there's a story. Oh my gosh, I love Samson. I really do. That's about ignoring God's will. In all honesty, Samson knew better, but he kept going. But it's more than ignoring God's will with Samson. Samson's more of a story of making sure you're telling the right people the right things and not telling certain people things they should know. Because if you're not familiar with the story, I'm not going to summarize it. I'm going to tell you to read it. Come to your own conclusions and see where Samson screwed up. Solomon, Proverbs, Songs of Solomon, and Ecclesiastes. Probably butchered that name, but I always do. So think about it. Read them. And if you're new to reading the Bible, honestly, start with the book of John. It's very short, and it's very good. Yes, I did my notes like that. Like, yeah. But no, the book of John is very good. It's short, but you get a basic understanding how it connects to Genesis. So my reading plan, honestly, for anybody that's new would be start at the book of John and go your way backward. Go John, Luke, Mark, Matthew. It sounds weird, but it works. But if you want, you can go John, Mark, Matthew, Luke. But you'll see right there in the 4 synoptic gospels how things happen. Yes. Oh, yeah, I actually pronounced it right. Yeah, it's morning. It's been a rough night for me. I've just been having a lot of odd, very strange dreams. But do that. And then read the book of Acts. The Old Testament is very difficult to read because there's a lot going on. especially once you get into Leviticus, which is the book of the law. But it's very detailed, and you will understand why people had a hard time following it. And the reason being is because of the fact that it's not easy to sit there and say, hey, no. Because you understand how man screwed up. And we always screw up. That's why Jesus had to go up there and pay it on a cross. Anyways, I'm going to go eat. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you are. Keep praying for everybody. Maybe tomorrow I'll get into political stuff. I don't know. But they're definitely pushing for the Antichrist. I'll get into that one soon. Bye.